Russia, shocked. The world once again turns its eyes toward Eastern Europe in a powerful show of strength, U.S. Paratroopers from the 1st Battalion, 503rd Infantry Regiment have crossed from Lithuania into Poland. This movement, conducted under Operation Bayonet Thrust, may look like a simple military maneuver, but it carries far greater meaning. This is not just training, it is a message, a demonstration, and a warning that NATO stands ready, united, and capable of moving with speed when it matters most. The 1 to 503, part of the legendary 173rd Airborne Brigade based in Vicenza, Italy, is one of the most battle-tested airborne units in the U.S. Army. These are soldiers trained to deploy anywhere in the world within hours, ready to fight at a moment's notice. Their history stretches back to World War II, where airborne units proved decisive in major battles. They fought in Vietnam, they operated in Afghanistan, and they stood on the front lines of NATO's presence in Europe. Now, in the 21st century, their mission remains the same: move fast, strike hard, and remind America's adversaries that its airborne forces are never far away. Operation Bayonet Thrust is designed to test NATO's ability to move troops quickly across European borders. For the 1 to 503, it meant leaving Lithuania and pushing into Poland, not just on paper, but with real soldiers, real vehicles, and real coordination. Imagine the sight: columns of American paratroopers, tactical vehicles loaded with gear, moving swiftly along highways and border crossings. Every checkpoint is coordinated. Every mile traveled is proof of NATO's ability to act decisively. This is not symbolic, it is practical. If war ever breaks out on NATO's eastern flank, this is exactly how reinforcements would move. Fast, organized, and overwhelming in strength. The United States did not act alone. NATO allies played a key role in making this border crossing possible. From logistics to permissions to joint security, every step of this movement reflected collective strength. It's a reminder that NATO is more than just an alliance on paper. It is a living, breathing force that can mobilize across nations seamlessly. An attack on one is an attack on all, and the sight of U.S. paratroopers moving through Europe underlines that promise. For the Baltic states and Poland, this show of unity is not just reassuring, it is essential. They live with the reality of Russian pressure every single day. And then comes the unspoken audience: Moscow. For the Kremlin, watching American paratroopers cross borders in Eastern Europe is not something they can ignore. To them, this is a direct signal: NATO is right at their doorstep, and it is prepared. The geography is critical. Lithuania borders Russia's heavily militarized enclave of Kaliningrad. Poland sits as NATO's defensive shield against the east. When NATO practices moving forces across these territories, it is sending Russia a crystal-clear warning: any aggression will be met with an immediate, coordinated response. From a purely military standpoint, Bayonet Thrust is about mobility and logistics. Can NATO troops move quickly across Allied borders? Can supplies keep up? Can command structures remain flexible under pressure? But from a political perspective, this operation is even more important. It's about deterrence, showing strength so that conflict never begins in the first place. Deterrence is about perception. If Russia believes NATO is slow, divided, or unprepared, it might be tempted to test the alliance. But when it sees American paratroopers on the ground, backed by NATO allies, the risk becomes far too high. That is the real power of exercises like Bayonet Thrust. This is not the first time soldiers have moved across European borders to deter an adversary. During the Cold War, NATO conducted large-scale exercises in West Germany to remind the Soviet Union that the alliance was always ready. Today, history repeats itself. The Soviet Union is gone, but Russia remains, once again pushing on Europe's eastern frontier. And NATO, once again, is responding with presence, movement, and readiness. The lesson of history is clear. Peace in Europe is maintained not through weakness, but through strength. For countries like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and Poland, exercises like this are not abstract, they are survival. These nations live on the front lines of NATO, directly exposed to Russian influence, propaganda, and military pressure. When their citizens see American troops crossing their borders, they see more than soldiers. They see reassurance. They see the guarantee that Article 5, the heart of NATO's Mutual Defense Pact, is more than just words. It is real, it is here, and it will be enforced. The timing of Operation Bayonet Thrust matters. Around the globe, tensions are rising. From the war in Ukraine, to increasing military activity in the Arctic, to growing competition in the Pacific, the world is entering a new era of great power rivalry. For NATO, keeping its eastern flank secure is not optional, it is vital. If Russia sees weakness in the Baltics or Poland, it could embolden further aggression. That is why operations like this are so critical. They show that NATO's shield is unbroken and its sword is sharp. From Lithuania to Poland, the 1 to 503 paratroopers of the 173rd Airborne Brigade prove more than just their ability to move. They prove the strength of NATO. They prove the unity of allies. And they prove that deterrence comes not from words, but from action. Operation Bayonet Thrust is complete, but the message remains. NATO is ready, NATO is fast, and NATO is united. And for Russia, that message is impossible to ignore.